Welcome back to another video, another live stream. What's up, Squadron? How you guys doing out there? I'm your host, Keith, your man of letters, here to bring you knowledge, information, and at the very least, hopefully, a bit of entertainment. Today's topic is gratitude. My lens is a little dirty. How's that? That help out a bit? Help out at all? Ooh, nice. Yeah, it did. What's up, Smith? Nice to see you, brother. Okay, I'll give you the premise. We'll start with the premise. What I would like to help you guys do with this video. How I would like to do that. And hopefully just inspiration for you guys to practice it more, to be able to wrap your guys' head around it more so that you can sort of make sense of it. So here's the premise. The reason why I say being grateful shouldn't work is because there's contradicting or seemingly contradicting teachings in spirituality. One of those things is you shouldn't desire for anything, because like that's a very Buddhist angle, is desire leads to suffering, that we desire things, that we are unable to let go of things. That's what brings about suffering. Also, if we want to want something, is to feel is to be in want, to be in need, we are told, broadcasts a frequency, a energy of not having, so that we receive more of not having. So you would think that the gratefulness is sort of reaching outside of ourselves to manifest something. Like, you need to be grateful. You need this thing called gratitude in order to receive something, which again seems sort of paradoxical. There's this gray area. Well, do I want something? Do I not want something? Do I desire something? Do I not desire something? Ask and you shall receive, right? Do I have the asking to get the receiving? Like, what order does it go? So here's sort of the hack with gratitude. Here's the hack with gratitude. Before we start, thank you guys for being here. Would love it if you hit the like button. If you're new, the subscribe button and the notification bell, because we don't necessarily get notifications on all the videos that we subscribe to unless we hit the notification. Thank you for supporting all my Patreon supporters. I need to do a video dedicated to the Patreon supporters. You guys are the real MVPs. Thank you so much. Thank you, John Smith, for helping behind the scenes with everything that you do and being the OG link man. Yeah. So pour yourself a glass of wine, roll yourself up one, take your shoes off, stay a while, and let's get right into it. Gratitude. 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 Yo, 200 bill. What up, MCQ? How's it going, Brian? Check this out. Now, I'm taking a sort of poetic license with this. If you don't agree with me, that's fair, because I'm kind of coming up with this off the top of my head. Maybe not me. Maybe it's being channeled through me, through source. That seems more fitting. That to be grateful for something, here's the energetic imprint of gratitude that I haven't heard someone talk about yet. Being grateful for something says thank you. It doesn't say this, but it has a feeling of, this shouldn't be here anyways. So while it's here, I'm thankful for it. And if it's not here, well, it shouldn't have been here anyways. So think about life, right? We'll use the analogy of life. It's so much easier to not exist, right? It's so much easier to not. It takes so much energy for things to go, for life to evolve, for life to become more complex, for life to start off as rocks and then into single-celled organisms and then into humanity, right? It's so much easier for none of this to happen, right? That things are happening is a fucking miracle. That things are, for the most part, instead of are not, for the most part, is a goddamn miracle. And that is the bridge that could gratitude, with that thought in mind, gratitude is the bridge between not and between is, between have and have not, between nothingness and nothing, between the ethereal pure potential of existence and then solidifying that pure potential into the 200 mil, solidifying the ethereal into more happiness, solidifying the ethereal into pure natural beauty, the pure natural beauty of a sunset with your favorite soundtrack, or the pure natural beauty of your child's uncontrollable laughter. The gratitude is the thing that links us to the other side, because it says none of this should be here anyways. None of it should. Why is any of this here? It's so much easier to just not, but we are. So fucking thank you. You know what I mean? And that is why being grateful works when it shouldn't, according to the rest of spiritual philosophy. That's why you can desire something like gratitude. That's why you can lean on something outside of yourself like gratitude, and it still work, and it still be one of the number one power moves when it comes to creating the sort of abundant, or not even abundant, creating anything, because it can create lack of abundance. It can create abundance. It can create fortune. It can create misfortune. It can create love. It can create hate. It can create anything, because it is nothing and it is everything all at the same time, because it both is and isn't. Gratitude, when you say, because really think about it, gratitude has a different feel to it. It has different texture to it. And the texture is, I'm going through life experiencing things, wonderful things, beautiful things, things that I'm ecstatic to see. I can't even, it's hard for me to put this in the words. I can see it in my head. I can feel it in my head, but I'm having a hard time putting it into words. Like, imagine you're walking through life. You're walking through blackness. You're walking through space. That's your existence. That's like, the base of everything is nothingness, right? Because you have to have nothingness in order for something to appear. You need space. You need space. Music, the space between the notes. I believe Mozart said that. He says it's not the notes that you play, it's the space in between the notes that make the music. On, off. This creates life. Polarity, in other words, rhythm, in other words, create life. Create everything. So you're going through life nothingness. You're just awareness going through nothingness. Say you're the all. If we may be so bold to say we are the all going through nothingness. Just undefinable nothingness. And that's the state of things. And then a sunrise pops up. The most beautiful sunrise you've ever seen. Now, it wasn't supposed to be a sunrise. It was supposed to be nothingness. And that's gratitude. That's thankfulness. Saying, this shouldn't even be here. Right? Because that allows you to want something, but also not to attach to it. Because the moment it's not there anymore, you go, oh, okay. Well, it wasn't there before. So this shouldn't be no sweat off my back. Thank you for being here while you did. You know, this is, I talked about this and I used the example of having a lover that you know is going to leave. Say you're traveling somewhere. You have a moment in time with a lover and you know there's no future with you guys for whatever reason. You live in a different country. You don't know their name. You're just partying one night and you run into someone and have a really magical moment, or whatever the case be. Say you have no future with this lover. They die or something. To be able to look at that lover and say, you weren't here before and you won't be here after. And I know that. I understand that. I feel that. So while you are here, I'm going to be so fucking thankful because you weren't supposed to be here in the first place. Um, it's a bit sad, but life is a bit sad in general because everything's fleeting. Everything is coming and going anyways, which is why the sages say that nothing is real with a capital R. Nothing is truth with a capital T, because truth is the one thing everlasting, ever enduring, Alpha Omega, and everything else that comes and goes is an illusion, albeit a very persistent and real illusion. One real enough to where if you jump off a building, you're gonna die. Like, you will cease to exist. That's how real shit can get. But the fleetingness of life, the fleetingness of life is why things are so beautiful. It is why we should be grateful in the first place, because again, it shouldn't be here, it wasn't here before, and it's not going to be here forever. And to have that energy, to have that feel when you're going into a situation, it's almost like telling the universe, I'm opening myself up to have an experience that I've desired, that I've taken the initiative on creating to a T. It's my feet up on a chair with a warm cup of tea, my favorite soundtrack, a glass of my favorite red wine, my favorite book. And it's not always going to be there. I'm not always going to have the opportunity to have that moment. Sometimes I'll be stressed, and sometimes I'll be angry, and sometimes I'll be heartbroken, and sometimes I'll be lost, and sometimes I'll be confused and in the darkest places imaginable. But with that being said, I know that that's not even lasting. I know that the beauty will return, and I know that I'm thankful for it all, because the happiness that you feel coming out of darkness is the sweetest happiness that you'll ever experience. And that's what we want. Deep down in our heart of hearts, we want the sweetest kind of love and the sweetest kind of happiness. And we get that sweetness when it comes out of the opposite. Unfortunately, such is the swing of things. There was a quote that I read by Carl Jung the other day, and I can't remember how the quote goes exactly, but it was along the lines of, we experience the swings are equal, the rhythm is equal, our amount of light is equal to the amount of our darkness. How deep we've gone in ourselves, right? And looking into the abyss is equal to our light. There's so many, I can't even keep up in my head. It is a daunting both truth and paradox to think that the higher our capacity for love, the higher our capacity for hate. You know, this is one of those things, one of those reasons why, if you don't believe that you're capable of ultimate hatred, then you really haven't taken a deep look at the human psyche or the human experience in general. Like, think of the heartbreak of someone that you fall in love with. Think of how much it hurts depending upon how much you love them. Or think of how little it hurt when they wronged you compared to how little you cared about them in the first place. This is why we limit our positive emotions. This is why we limit our happiness. This is why we limit our love. This is why we limit our excitement, right? Because we know the more we love, the more excited we are. If we lose those things equal to that love and excitement, will be the negative swing of that pole. Back to gratitude. Back to gratitude and sort of manifesting things. Gratitude sort of lifts us above the swing of that pendulum. Gratitude lifts us above the swing of night and day, sad and happiness, courage and fear, love and hate. Gratitude somehow says, I understand that fucking swing is going from left to right. I understand that swing is going from sad to happy. But I refuse to partake in the swing. What I choose to do is acknowledge the swing when it's on its positive side and relish in it, and really, really fucking relish in the positive swing, because one, it shouldn't be here in the first place. It was just at the negative side. Two, it's not going to be here forever because you literally cannot stop the swing of the pendulum. So it's going to leave. It's going to swing back to negative. So you understand it wasn't there in the first place. Again, you understand it's not going to stay there indefinitely. So you can appreciate that moment. And because you've acknowledged these things, you will experience happiness like nobody else. You will experience love like nobody else. You will experience joy and clarity like nobody else. Because everyone else is worried about hanging on to that. Everyone else they get the swing to happiness and they go, I have to hold on to it. I have to fight the nature of reality. I have to fight the nature of universe to hold this swing on the positive end. And because they hold on to it so tight, because they invest so much in this reality, this fleeting reality, when the swing does go back into the opposite direction, they are torn asunder. Alas, that's right. The world isn't beautiful, it's dark, and it's chaos, and it's angry, and it's hateful, and it's fearful. And then they believe that so hard that when the pendulum swings back to positive, they don't want anything to do with it, because they know that if they invest more into the positive, that they will be torn asunder, alas, again. Gratitude gets us around that. Gratitude acknowledges the swing is going to change. Gratitude acknowledges that the things won't always be here today as they are today. They will change constantly into the infiniteness of existence, and thank God for that. Because what sort of existence is one that is sameness for eternity? It's awfully boring. That's why polarity exists. That's why rhythm exists. So that we can have an infinite amount of experiences throughout existence. Unfortunately, people don't know how these operations work. And so they take 2 steps forward and 1 step back. Or no steps forward and 2 steps back. And they wonder why. And I don't know. But I do know that gratitude is somehow understanding it somehow creates more swings than we thought before. More swings towards the positive than we realized we could do. Because, right, every dimension layers itself. Every dimension layers itself. You have a swing, first dimension, second dimension, third dimension, fourth, fifth, all the way ad infinitum. We have swings. So we can play with the swings. We can't stop the swing, but we can play with them. We can manipulate the swings. If the swing is going forward, we can push it to go that much higher. If the swing is going backwards, we're not going to try to go forward as the swing is going backwards. No, we're going to swing back with it. Like a kid would on a swing. When the swing is going backwards, you don't force yourself to go forward, or you'll fuck up the whole pendulum. When you're going back, you go with it. When you're going forward, you go with it. And eventually, your swing goes higher and higher and higher. And again, your capacity for the swing on the front is equal to the capacity of the swing on the left. And who knows, maybe if you're really creative, you can jump off the swing altogether at the apex and hit the next swing on the next level. So you're on level 1 with your swing, you're building up momentum. You're not stopping the swing, you're working with it, higher, higher. Boom, you jump off this swing and you land on top of the second level. Right now, your lowest point of the swing is at the highest point of the previous swing. Right? So your lowest is your old's highest. And then you hop on swing level number 2 and you get that bitch going. You crank it up, you crank it up, you crank it up. And then you just repeat. And you climb higher and higher and higher and higher. Swings all the way back to source, all the way back to God, back to oneness. Anywho, being grateful shouldn't work for manifestation, but it does. And it works because it has a different approach. It has an appreciation of life in all its forms as compared to some other ways of manifesting things. Yeah. Pat on the back caught my attention with that little orange flare. And it's a beautiful quote. Check this out. Pat on the back, thank you for sharing this. It's a Dr. Seuss clip quote. And it says, "Don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened." But, yeah. I think that's pretty much all I had to say on gratitude. Who we got in here? Tiana. Yeah, you finally caught me alive. I normally don't go live this early in the day, but I had the day off of work. Speaking of which, I would love it if you guys liked this video, supported Patreon, bought from my Etsy shop so I could have more days off from work. My aspire is to inspire. My aspiration is to inspiration, and I do it. And my medium is this YouTube channel, and the growth of this channel allows me to do more of that. So everyone who's been supporting me, I would appreciate it. Thank you for liking the videos. Thank you for commenting on the videos. Thank you for sharing the videos. There's a perfect example. Like, I'm grateful that you guys share the videos. And the reason why is because you don't have to share them. I don't even expect you to share them. It's like, most of the time, I don't share people's videos. Even if they're my favorite YouTubers and my favorite artists, I don't share their shit for whatever egotistical reason I come up with. Whether it's distraction, or I'm just like, nah, or it's like, man, not good enough. Like, there's 1,000 reasons why you guys wouldn't, why you wouldn't share this content. So the fact that you do is like, fuck yeah. Thank you. Thanks for even being here. You guys could be watching Netflix. You could be hanging out with a lover, unless you're hanging out with a lover and watching this. You guys could be doing one of an infinite amount of things, but you're here hanging with the squad. And for that, I'm eternally grateful, because it helps. It helps all things that I try to do. So thank you. Gracias. Tanya's here. What's cracking, Tanya? Working with the concept of receiving. Odd that that's not easy. Well said. Why do you think that is, Tanya, and everyone else? Why do you guys think that receiving, or that having to work on receiving is something that you have to work on anyways? Why the fuck? I'm reading through you guys' comments, so sorry for spacing on you. Didn't we make this all mean everything? Life and death, or is this a place to recreate? Soul exists always. Yes, I'm not sure exactly what you mean by your question, but the ending was good. We don't create with just heart, though. We create with heart and mind. They don't leave one or the other out. TBC, what's up, TBC? All the love right back at you. All the love right back at you. To come down into sadness within and not pull others in with your experience. Followed with the question mark, though that seemed more like a statement. I'm not sure what your question is. Thank you for the kind words, TBC. Yeah, there's only 20 of us here, but we're a strong 20, you guys. We're a strong 20. MCQ31, let's fucking go. 200 mil squad. And thank you too, Woodstock. Thanks for hanging out and being here. Tanya, you're welcome. Ooh, yeah, write that down on the t-shirt ideas, John Smith. How many t-shirt ideas do we have now? I think, what do you guys think? When we hit 10K, should we start doing t-shirts? I feel like that might not be enough subscribers to invest money in a bunch of t-shirts that probably aren't going to sell. So maybe we'll wait till like 20K subscribers, which at this rate might take like 2 to 3 years, but whatevs. Akjari Drogon, because it's challenge, it's resistance. Yes, it is resistance, but resistance to what? Why do you think we're resisting? So, question is, why is it so hard to receive? You think that would be easy? The answer, which is true, Akjari Drogon gives, is because it's resistance. But where's the resistance coming from? Why is it so hard to receive things? And if that sounds too woo-woo for you, why is it so hard to ask for help? That's just another form of receiving something. Well, that might be a little easier to answer. Pride, egotisticalness. I know when I don't ask for help, it's because, me personally, I don't like being a burden on people. 2, I like to say that I did this all on my own. 3, I'm afraid of being turned down, right? I'm afraid of no. So those are 3 of mine. I'm sure they vary from person to person. Receiving, there you go. That's another really good one. Bryant Williams shared with us. Receiving can be hard if you don't feel worthy. That's actually huge. So I'm glad you brought that up. Let me talk about that for a second, because I felt that recently. I never understood the idea of not feeling worthy, because me, myself, in my forefront of thought, I feel worthy of everything. So I could never relate to that. I was like, what do you mean you don't feel worthy? Like, how could you not feel worthy? Like, you're great, you're this and that. That's just a silly idea to not feel worthy. And then something came up recently. Someone gave me the opportunity to start a farm on my property. A medicinal plant farm. And now that the opportunity was there, they're like, here's tens of thousands of dollars to start this operation. And as soon as he said that, my thought was, oh shit, maybe this is a bad idea, because if they're investing tens of thousands of dollars in me and my idea, and I don't produce, in other words, I'm not good enough, in other words, I'm not worthy of this donation, what's going to happen? So I was like, maybe not. I'm like, in my head, I'm thinking of stupid reasons why this isn't going to work and why I shouldn't ask for the money. And it came down to, I didn't feel worthy of it because I didn't think I'd be successful in doing it. So I was like, oh shit. Oh, that's what it feels like to not be worthy. I'm sure there's a bunch of reasons why that could be the case. Like, I don't know. I mean, you go to school, everything you do is graded. Work, school, entrance exams, everything is based on your merit. Are you good enough? No? Well, then fuck you, get out of here, sort of thing. So really our culture, I'm not saying this is a bad thing, but our culture tends to do everything based on merit. And if you're a run-of-the-mill person and you're not making 6 digits a year, you could feel like you're not worthy of most things. I don't know. MCQ31 or 6 months. This channel is fire. Fuck yeah. That's a good thought. There we go. How about this? We'll do some gratitude for the 20K subscribers in 6 months. All right. 6K in 6 months. Hashtag 200 mil squad. Just so you know, there are 6 t-shirt ideas so far. Hell yeah, that's awesome. As far as t-shirts go for the Man of Letters channel, I don't know, John Smith, maybe you can help me out with this. If there's a company that will do print on demand, because the book that I wrote, if you guys don't know, I've written a book called 7 Pillars, a handbook for existence. Yeah, a handbook for existence. It's print on demand, so I don't have to buy a shit ton of books and have them sitting around. Someone orders it, they print it, they send it. So maybe you could do like something like that for the t-shirts. That would be dope. That'd be super cool. Yes, Tanya, that's... See, now we're digging. Now we are... Fucking talk about deep diving. Can I get a hello there? We're deep diving now. Fear of failure with the idea of meeting someone's expectations. Check this out. One of the reasons why I don't... So if you would ask me, like, what do you do? I usually don't have a good answer. I play music, and I've played in bands, and I've put out albums, and I've gotten good traction, but I wouldn't call myself a musician. I've taken beautiful photography and done cool cinematic videos and inspirational videos. I wouldn't call myself a cinematographer. I've done a bunch of dope-ass photography shoots. Wouldn't call myself a photographer. The positive and bright side is I don't want to label myself because I can be anything, right? That's the egotistical side. But the realistic side is to call myself a photographer is to put a burden on my shoulders that says I have to produce with photography, because that's what photographers do. I don't want to call myself a cinematographer, because to call myself that sets a bar of expectation to the person that I'm telling that to. Oh, Keyth's a cinematographer. That means everything he puts out has to be fire, or he has to know everything that he's talking about. He has to know the ins and outs of photography. And so I've avoided that with a lot of parts of my life, and by not giving myself a title, so that if I fail, I don't disappoint anybody. Weird, right? It's weird. Know thyself, right? That's the great quote of all times, is to know thyself. Because when you do, you figure out how you operate. And when you figure out how you operate, you're that much better of a human being. But yeah. There are a few sites that do that. Hell yeah. Cool. Anywho, I think I'm going to wrap that up. Unless you guys have any other... any other pieces of information that you want to add. Let me know. Everyone hit that like button while we're in the room, so we can hit that 20K in the next 6 months. Tanya Shea Cornwall, is it that we forget that every outcome is a potential? I guess not so much. Every outcome is a potential, but we can influence that outcome with how good we are at something, plain and simple, right? Like, let's be real. People are better at things than other people. There are people that speak better than I do. There are people that run faster than you do. There are people that are more vulnerable than you are, that make more money than you, that are kinder than you, that are everything more than you are, right? And so those people can, while every outcome is a potential, they can increase the potential based on what kind of person they are. That's also the truth. It's also the truth that people don't want to acknowledge most of the time. Yeah, of course, Tanya, thank you for sharing, and thank you for the insight. Not giving yourself labels gives you the courage to dare to suck. And dare to learn and grow. Yeah, well said. That's well said. Intiana. Intiana. I don't know how you pronounce your name, Intiana. But yeah. That's all. That's the perk of not labeling yourself as something is that you can try something and you can be weird with something. So that's the positive side. You can be weird with something. You can be outlandish. You can take leaps of faith in your creative endeavors and be like, if you failed miserably, like, fuck it. So I can it's like, I'm not a musician. I play music really fucking well, but am I a musician? Nah. So I can get up there and make a goddamn fool of myself and be like, well, I'm not a musician anyways. As I walk through the street and pick up my next endeavor with not a care on my shoulder. I'm not saying that you should label yourself, right? Or that you shouldn't label yourself. I'm just saying, know why you do one or the other. I hate to be too preachy and say your life needs to be lived this way. I'm not fucking Jesus. Just know thyself. You know what I mean? First and foremost, just know thyself. And everything else should fall into place. Whether you decide to be Darth Vader or Obi-Wan, to know thyself will make you that much better at either path that you choose to do. Self-worth in learning and sharing in the creation, allowing room for even greater opportunities in every moment. Sure. Tanya, realize that the things that you're saying to me right now, they aren't yes or no questions. What's happening when you're asking me these questions is you're having your own revelations on a piece of information and you're running wild with it, which is beautiful. That's the whole reason why I do talks like these, is because just like me, I'm hoping once you get a piece of information that turns on a light bulb, you take it and make it your own and you apply it to your own life. You have your own revelations. I can't tell you how to live your life. I can't tell you if a thought you have is the ultimate truth or not. But it sounds like you're on the right path. Yes and no is the answer to most questions. Yes and no is debatably the answer to every question. The difference is, at what point of the scale are you looking? Like, for example, you just said nothing is ever failure. Well, yes and no. There are absolutely failures in life. For sure, without a doubt, there's such thing as a failure. You can make the best of a failure. Me personally, I'm not so much in favor of saying there's no such thing as failures. Only a lesson to be learned. I think it's both. I think, yes, it was a failure. Objectively speaking, it was a failure. But you can learn from that failure so that you become a better person. But if you learn from someone else's failure and you avoid the failure altogether, then you are that much further along the line of evolution. So I don't want to make it seem like, or I don't buy into the philosophy that there's no such thing as failure, that there's no such thing as bad. I usually don't believe in ultimatums, period. It's usually a bit of both. And the reason why I say that is because we have to have a hierarchy of decisions, right? That's masculinity. We have to have the masculine aspect. The feminine is to say there's no such thing as failure. All things are wishy-washy. All things are all things at once. It's sort of fluid like water. It can be anything, right? That's the feminine. And the masculine says, no, there's definitely such thing as a failure. We need a structure. A masculine, right? Masculine is structure, rigidity, of decision-making, of hierarchy. And we use them both. So you could say, like I said, most things are yes and no. Is there such thing as failure? Yes and no. In the big picture, no. In the little picture, yes. For example, If I want this channel to hit 20,000 subscribers in the next 6 months, there is a hierarchy of decisions that I need to make. I need to network, reach out to other YouTubers, and collaborate more. I need to spend less time on social media and more time sending emails. When I wake up in the morning, I need to meditate and get my mind straight so that my spirit can be in good form throughout the day so that I can be successful in my endeavors. Every decision I make is either leading me towards the 20K or away from the 20K. And if it leads me towards the 20K, it's a good decision. If it leads me away from the 20K, it's a bad decision. Plain and simple. So be careful with ultimatums. Be careful with saying that there's no such thing as bad. Be careful of saying there's no such thing as failure. We can make the best out of a failure, right? We didn't want to make the failure, but if we did make the failure, we can make the best out of it. We can learn about ourselves and about the world from the failure and learn how to not do it again. Or we can study other people's failures so that we don't make them in the first place. So with my son, I could be like, hey, Atlas, I fucked up a whole bunch of times in these areas. This is how I avoided them. And he can be like, ooh, noted, Pops. Thanks. I will avoid those things so that he can get that much further in life than me, that much faster. And then he'll make his own failures and then share it with his son. And the idea is to get better and better with each generation. Yeah. Sorry, I feel like I'm beating a dead horse with that one. But Entiena. Yeah, it is nice seeing people process things in real time. Yes, well said. Masculine logic, feminine heart. Exactly. That's why earlier I said we don't only act from the heart, we got to act from mind and heart, right? It's a combination of the two. Yin and yang. That yin and yang symbol is perfect, right? Because on one side you have masculine and on the other side you have feminine. But in the feminine, there's a bit of masculine. And in the masculine, there's a bit of feminine. And even that's not a straight line. It's kind of a wavy line in between them. That's sort of like, it's the nature of things constantly changing, constantly being here, and constantly not being here. It's fucking magic, you guys. It's magic. Oh, Jay Leah, I fucking, to an absolute T, feel you on that. The quest for perfection will keep you from accomplishing any goddamn endeavor you ever come across, Leah, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but if you can avoid perfection, like with me in this YouTube channel, I used to want to do everything perfectly. I would pre-record my videos, make sure everything I said was on point, edit the fuck out of it, the music would be perfect, the lighting would be perfect, and I don't know if you guys have been following my channel for a while, but I'll throw up a fucking live in shitty lighting, poor reception, it doesn't even matter, because if I have a thought, I want it to come out. Whereas before, I'd be like, oh, I got a good thought, and then I'd like rummage on it and I'd write it down and I'd try to make it perfect, and then eventually I'd be like, this thought kind of sucks, or it's not a complete thought, it's not worth putting up. And so I've got just a cemetery of dead, buried thoughts that never got a chance to grow because I wanted them to be perfect. And because I wanted them to be perfect and perfection is unattainable, they ended up just dying and rotting in their graves. So I'm like, fuck it, Keyth, it doesn't have to be perfect. Get as close to perfect as you can. Got a nice microphone, got some music playing in the background, I got a nice DSLR camera, but it could be way fucking better than this. So my advice, Jay Leah, strive for perfection, but when you start getting frustrated and you start getting worn out, just say fuck it and put it out there. That's what I've been doing, is I'll aim for perfection until I get frustrated, until I get tired, and then I'm like, this is good enough, I'm out, we're done, on with the next. The Alchemical Marriage. Nice. Another t-shirt idea, John Smith. The Alchemical Marriage. Roderick Scott. What's up, brother? Sister. I can't see your profile picture, or none of the above. Nice. Glad we could help, Tanya. Usually it's a combination of both. Whether you're masculine or feminine is easy to figure out. I mean, masculine is active and feminine is passive. Masculine is laser focused and feminine is all inclusive. But realistically, there's not one thing in existence on this planet that doesn't contain both masculine and feminine to some degree. Like, some people say creativity is purely feminine, and like writing a poem is purely feminine because it's pure creation. But that's bullshit, because the poem that you're using is made up of letters and words, and you structure your poem with letters, which it doesn't get any more masculine than A is A. That's it. A makes the A sound. B makes the B sound. That's it. Plain and simple. Focus that one thing, put it in this order, and it makes this word every single time. That's rigidity, that's structure, that's masculine. So you can't even write a poem without using masculinity. Of course, it's dominated by the feminine, the abstract thought, and combining the different letters and words in different orders to create brand new things. Like, that's very all-inclusive feminine, but contains them both. Ooh, Untiena, The Law of Gender. Untiena, have you read my book? Or The Kabbalion? I guess, or studied 1,000 other things that talk about the law of gender. But that's basically what the law of gender is. Anywho, let's possibly the other questions are triggers to help you. Oh, you took the message out. Just kidding. Ooh, we've lost reception a bit, have we? Maybe that will fix it. Oh, it's 11:43, 1-4. I've been seeing the numbers 143 a lot, and I don't know if you guys remember text messaging from like the OG days. When you texted someone 143, it meant I love you. It was like the numerical abbreviation of I love you. And I've been seeing 143 fucking everywhere, like multiple times a day. Thank you for the book plug, Mr. Smith. If any of you guys have gotten my book, I would really love it if you guys left feedback on the Amazon. Because in the near future, I'm going to try to push my book for a traditional book publisher. And I'm going to use the comments for my Amazon review page on my book to be like, yo, people love it, look how dope it is, or not. Like, leave a realistic fucking review, because if it sucked, like, I'm not gonna push it. I'll just write another one that's better, you know what I mean? So be fair with the response. This song sounds like it's from Armageddon. Is it? No, it's not. It's from the Maze Runner. But I wouldn't be surprised if it was the same composer. Anywho. Yeah, thanks you guys. Tanya, I feel like you asked me tons of questions that I have no idea what the actual question is. Other questions to help you process the beautiful farm idea. Are you asking me for questions? Are you suggesting questions? Are you thinking out loud? I'm gonna go eat now, you guys, because I haven't had dinner yet. Dinner. I haven't had food yet. So with that being said, please hit the like button. Please like and share. Ooh, I'll do my shameless advertising and promoting now. Oh, need help on the farm. Daniel in the lion's den. Yes, I absolutely need help on the farm. Always need help on the farm. Always. Siempre. Siempre necesito ayudar. I don't know how you say farm in Spanish. On el farme. Yeah, if you guys are in the Central California area, Santa Barbara, I guess we're technically Central California, but we're only like an hour and a half north of LA. Anywho, yeah, if you guys ever want to help out doing things around the farm, for sure. Was what to trigger, Tanya? Was what to trigger the memory? Wait, what? I just got an update that said Egypt adds $123 million to gold reserves. Interesting. Very interesting. Rancho. Oh, no shit. Of course, rancho. That makes perfect sense. Está in California? Yeah, dude. I am... The farm is about 45 minutes outside of Santa Barbara, California. You don't export. I export my products, for sure. Oh yeah, that's right. I was gonna do the shameless promo. So this is my Patreon. Patreon.com/Keyth Garcia. My Etsy shop is etsy.com/shop/man-of-letters-co. The Patreon, if you guys don't know what Patreon is, it's basically like you every month you say, I'm gonna give you $1. Like, thanks Keyth, I love the content, keep killing it, I'd like to support you, here's $1 every month. And that's how Patreon works. And there's different tiers. So for example, if you donate $5 a month, you get 10% off the Etsy shop. If you donate $10 a month, you get 20% off the Etsy shop. And the Etsy shop is candles. So like, I make beeswax candles, black ones, white ones, red ones, blue ones. I sell different resins, frankincense resin. I sell absolutes. If you guys are into making your own perfumes, I sell frankincense absolutes, and I sell sage plants and essential oils and different herb bundles, different kinds of sage, different kinds of mugwort bundles, hydrosols. I sell mugwort hydrosols and white sage hydrosols, like all kinds of cool knick-knack spiritual goody shit. So if you're buying those things anyways and you want to save hella money, join my Patreon, get the 20% off the Etsy shop, and buy your spiritual knickknacks through my Etsy shop, and you'll make your money back. I just told the story. Someone made $100 purchase on the Etsy shop, used the 20% discount, they saved $20, and they only paid $10 to get into it. So it was like they supported me on Patreon and they made their money back and some on top of that. So it's like a help me help you kind of thing. But yeah, damn, I just got super hungry. I know, sorry about that, Agent Smith. Beautiful something happening here. I can feel it, but I don't know what it is. Here's what we can do. In lieu of our title, we don't know what the beauty is that's happening here, but we can be grateful that there is even something beautiful to be had in the first place. With that being said, thank you guys for being here, and I'll see y'all in the next video.